right. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I believe you can all hear me.
You. You can hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for confirming. All right. Once again, good evening, everyone. I hope we've had an amazing day so far. Thank you so much for taking our time to join us on this call this evening. Of course, it's going to be a very insightful session. So please, we want you to pay attention, just like you can see in the countdown. Get your notes ready, get your pen ready, get your note taker ready, because it's going to be an insightful session this evening. And I believe that we are all ready for that, because tonight we're going to be talking about the beginners and blueprint to getting cloud jobs, getting paid in cloud role and all of that. So please ensure that you pay attention. It is very, very important, because we have our guest on the call, and this is an expert in the industry. So rest assured that you're going to be learning from the best tonight. So please ensure that you pay attention. But before we go on, would like you to invite your friends, your colleague, get them to join the call as well. For everyone that you think that this will really, really help, we need you to get them on the call to join us tonight, because they would also be able to benefit from what we are going to be talking about this evening. So get them on the call if you have that friend who has been thinking about transitioning, changing their career, or moving to another career pathway. Get them to join the call. This would definitely help them to make that decision that they need to make, right? So the link will be shared in the chat box. So ensure that you just share it with your friend, your colleague. You can put it on your WhatsApp group, send it to them personally if you know anybody. It's going to be really, really so amazing. So please ensure that you do that. And also, before we proceed as well, would like to do this just to get to know our audience, So please tell us your location and one expectation that you're looking to get out of this webinar, right? I know that the topic is out there already, and for you to be on this call, it shows that you are interested in transitioning. Some of you, it might be immediately, some of you are still looking into it. So whatever stage you are in, we would just like to get to know you, just get to basically know you on a surface level before we move on tonight. So please tell us your location. Of course, we can see your names already, but tell us your location and your expectation, one expectation basically. Would like to read from you before we proceed tonight. So please kindly just use the chat box to introduce yourself to us, your location, if you're joining us from the UK, US, Canada, Australia, wherever. So would like to get to know you, and also tell us your expectation as well, and also your background. It would be good to know your background. If you are a beginner, if you have a tech experience, or you don't have any tech experience at all, we just want to hear from you. We want to hear from you tonight. So I'm waiting for our responses in the chat box. So please kindly respond. We want to hear from Shitso, Temitope. We want to hear from Steven. Let's get to hear from you, your location, where you're joining us from, and one expectation you're looking to take out from today's webinar. Nonso, let's get to read from you. Oluwasheo, Usman, Temitope, we're waiting for you. Who is going to start tonight? David, Grace, Sam, let's get to hear from you. Mabel. Let's get to hear from you. You don't have to unmute your mic. You can just put it in the chat box. Your location, your expectation, one expectation you're looking to take out from today's webinar, and your background, basically. If you're coming from maybe a medical background, if you're coming from engineering, we want to hear from you. Okay. Lucky has bailed the cats out. Okay. All right. Lucky is joining from Nigeria, no tech background. Okay, Lucky, I believe you are looking forward to transitioning to tech, right? can also let us know that. You can also let us know that. All right. So waiting for more people. Waiting for more people. Thank you so much, Lucky. Okay, Timitoko is joining from the UK, has IT and engineering background. So Timitoko, are you looking to transition into tech? What's the expectation? Okay, great. Looking to transition into tech, 16 years experience in administration. Wow, that's really good. That's really good to know. Thank you so much, Lucky. So let's get to hear from more people. Can we get to hear from more people? I know that it's been a long day for us, but we still just want to hear from you before we proceed. Okay, Shita says, sorry, Damilare says, no tech background. I'm calling from Manchester. I'm keeping my options open as regards to tech. Okay, great. This is awesome. This is awesome. We love that. We love the openness. Okay, Babalola says, I'm joining from Leeds. I'm here to learn everything I need to know as to function properly in this new field, tech. Amazing, amazing, Babalola. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. This man is from Nigeria, no tech background, looking to transition into tech. That's good, Usman. That's good, Usman. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, Ikechukwu Johnson is joining from Lagos, Nigeria, medical background with zero tech experience. All right, this is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. Oluwaseun, there would still be, if you have any question, basically, you can just put it here in the chat box. Just to save us some time, just put it in the chat box. We'll be able to take it. Okay. So for now, you can just introduce yourself to us. Of course, we'll get to the Q&A part when it's time. So, but for now, let's just get to read from you for now. All right. Thank you so much for everyone who has shared with us. This is really good. And regardless of your background, it doesn't matter at all. That's why we are having this webinar today, because this is really targeting the beginners. All right. So thank you so much. Okay, so without further ado, and before we go on, we'd just like to let you know that if you have any question, kindly just put in your question in the Slido. I'm sorry, yeah, it's going to be pasted in the chat box. The link to the Slido will be pasted in the chat box. So please ensure that you use the Slido to put in whatever question you may have at all, right? Kindly ensure that you put in your question there so that we'll be able to take all your questions, all right? There are some comments here. Also hope to find out about the difference between cloud pedal and DevOps. Okay, great. Okay, Shade says, Poland, I have full stack software development experience. I intend to transition to cloud. I want to structure around my learning to reach my goal very quickly. That's really good. Thank you so much, Shadi. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Okay, so that's the link to the Slido in the chat box. If you have any question at all, please make use of it. Drop your question in this Slido link and we will take it at the end of this call. Thank you so much, everyone. So right now, we're just going to go ahead and introduce our speaker to you tonight. Of course, we've been seeing our flyers on social media. So but before we proceed tonight, before I hand over to him, I'm just going to be introducing him very quickly, and then I get to hand over to him. So Charles is a technology transformation consultant with deep expertise in AWS infrastructure and cloud native architectures. He currently works at Accenture, where he leads large-scale digital transformation programs across public and private sector organizations with a focus on scalable infrastructure, DevOps, and cloud adoption. Charles holds an MSc in Artificial Intelligence and Data Science with distinction, and is certified as an associate AWS Solutions Architect Associate, AWS Cloud Practitioner, and AI Practitioner. He is passionate about cloud education and enjoys helping early career professionals build hands-on experience with AWS services and real-world system design patterns. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the call we have with us Charles, who is going to be talking to us about the beginner's blueprint to getting paid in Charles, in cloud rather. So please let's make welcome Charles as he takes over tonight. Thank you, Babalola. Can we have more responses? Are we really excited? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm handing over to Charles right now to take over. Over to you, Charles. Good to have you.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you for that warm introduction, and thank you for having me back. This is not my first time on this webinar. I think I was here a few weeks back, and I'm very much happy to be back again because it's always good to help new people come in. Before, without wasting much time, because we've already spent about 17 minutes now, so let me just share my screen and then I'll go through what I have for you guys today. Okay, all right. Please confirm that you've seen my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. Okay. For today's webinar, the target is to talk to about three sets of people. First group of people is the people that has no technology background at all. So this is going to be very simplified. And also the next group of people is people that are transitioning from adjacent roles, maybe as a data analyst, a cybersecurity analyst. So you're moving into cloud or DevOps. So this is for you. And then the last group of people is for anyone at all that loves cloud. Maybe I've never heard of it and just want to learn. So this is an opportunity for you to learn about cloud. And so thank you very much for joining. And then so for my journey into cloud, just like most of you on this call, I am coming from a very non-technical background. In fact, I spent about 8 years in banking operations, and even my BSc degree was in accounting and finance, so you could imagine. And then today, we are all in technology. So that is just to show you that anybody can be in technology. You can move from one role to another, regardless of your background. And that is why we are looking at people who want to transition from that very non-technical background to cloud. So how did I get here? What I did is that I learned aggressively. So I learned and then I applied some of those fundamental skills that I learned. And then I did a lot of repetitions and also was very consistent. And then I also tried to prove myself what I'm learning. I positioned myself and then I was very persistent. So those are the steps that I took that made me to be here. I'm going to show you what you can also do through this webinar today, how you can transition into this role. What is getting paid? Just the topic of this session, what is getting paid in cloud really means? People would say, what does it even mean? So it means that you are solving problem, any kind of cloud problem you're talking about. Either you're resolving business problem, you are identifying the needs that cloud can resolve, you are delivering something, or you're even building. So those are the kind of things that you get paid in cloud. And also when you are using the different cloud tools that are available, is it AWS, all of those are services that they have, and then or you are any kind of value you are creating. And within cloud, we also have loads of other kind of roles. We have support roles, we have engineering roles, we have DevOps, people in security, architecture, and FinOps. We'll talk about some of these roles in details as we are proceeding in this webinar, and even those in consulting, even analysts, you can also work within this space. And so why is cloud still a strong career? One would ask. We've been hearing cloud for a very long time. Why is it still a strong career path? I think the reason is very simple. Cloud is used everywhere. If you look at almost all of the industries, cloud is being used. Is it in finance? Is it in healthcare? The different public sectors, everybody uses cloud. Even from startups, they use cloud in their when they are building their architecture. So that is one of the reasons that cloud would continue to be relevant, and a career in cloud will always still be a very strong career path. And then another one is that it has more than one point of entry. So as someone that is coming into cloud, you don't need to say, I want to be a solution architect or a DevOps engineer. There's a lot of different entry points you can get into cloud. You could start as a support engineer. You can even start in operations where you're looking at different admins, the different admin rights for a system. And then you could also go to cloud security. You can, for us in consulting, there's also another opportunity for you to move into cloud. So there's a lot of entry points for you to enter cloud. And another reason why cloud is still a strong career path is that the skills that you learn in cloud compounds over time. So one of the key things you learn is communication skills. And these are the kind of things that it would also make you to grow in other kind of discipline. You learn how to handle security within the system, and then networking, all of those different skill set that you need within career. So some of those skills compound over time. So cloud platform is just many parts of a career. It's not just one narrow job title that we are aware of. It's not a solution architect. It's not just DevOps. So it is quite a lot of roles within cloud. And then let me talk about some of the myths that beginners that comes into cloud always have. And then these are the things that can draw you back from even learning cloud and becoming a professional within cloud. One of which is that you are not coming from a computer science degree. I want to bet you that if you want to do analysis of people that are currently practicing cloud, more than 50% of them wouldn't have come from a computer background. In fact, in industry, nobody really cares. What you need is that you can, the ability to learn, and ability to apply those skills that you have learned. That is what is needed. And another myth is cloud is only for coders, that you have to have that very technical knowledge. It is not. I've just mentioned that there are a lot of career paths within cloud. So you don't need to be a coder. You could still not have that very much coding knowledge, and then you still function very well within cloud. And another one is certification. Once you have those certifications, you get hired. People have those certifications, and then they are not getting hired. So what you need is that you have to position yourself. You have to ensure that when you are learning, you're also ensuring that you show proof of that learning. And the last bit of this myth I want to talk about is that you need to know everything before applying. You don't need to know everything. So you just have to have that clear target of roles that you want to apply. And then you start to build that very basic understanding of that roles and show evidence to recruiters that you can do those jobs. And then you may likely get that job. As long as you are consistent, as long as you are showing proof, you would likely have your foot on the door in cloud. So this is the different cloud roles that you can start with. You don't have to be a solution architect, a DevOps, although those are the major roles that we usually hear. Like I mentioned, you can be a cloud support engineer. So what you do is you'll be troubleshooting issues that have, and also try to help systems or users to and the system to work smoothly. So those are a lot of, I think that is one of the very basic careers within cloud. Anybody can start there as long as you understand some of the basic things in the cloud. You could also start as a junior cloud engineer, and so you're going to be working with more senior cloud engineers, and you assist them with deploying, with improving cloud setups and all of those things. So you are basically an engineer, but you'll be playing at a junior level. So that is where you could start. You could also start as a DevOps analyst, where you're going to be supporting in deploying applications, that delivery pipelines, and ensuring that there's a team workflow. So that is where you'll be playing. You could also work as cloud operations. You could also work as technical consultant, and you could work as a solution architect. So solution architect, so you're going to look at the problems that the company is working, and then try to provide solutions to it and build and design those architecture that is running on cloud. There's other things like cloud security. I think that one is very popular. And then there's FinOps that people don't usually talk about much, where you are going to be tracking how cloud is being used. Because sometimes if you do not manage the way you use those technologies, it might become a problem. So it is a career path where you could help to track that usage, reduce waste, and also improve that cost decision. So FinOps is also something you could also look out for. And then there's also a cloud business analyst, where you are going to look at the need of the organization, and then you work with more technical people to find solutions to those needs. So those are different career roles within cloud that you can start with. So how to choose the right career path for you? Everybody have different personalities. So how would you choose what is right for you? And I divided it into three kind of people. So there are some people that like to fix problems and helping people, and those kind of people, they like to troubleshoot, they like to see how system works. So those kind of people, you could start working as a cloud support engineer, or maybe more into operations, and you naturally will grow into a cloud engineer or a site reliability engineer. So that's kind of career path you could be looking out for. If you think that your personality fits into those kind of roles, you could go through that career path. But if you're someone that enjoys hands-on, enjoy scripting, building things, so this another career path you could start thinking about is DevOps and those junior solution architecture roles, and then you could grow into platform engineers and DevOps role. And then the last group of people is people that likes to identify needs, they like to communicate, they like to explain things. So you could move more into business and people. So what you could do is maybe a cloud business analyst, a cloud consultant. You could also move into associate architect, and then the career path is you could grow into a solution architect and transformation role. So there are different career paths that, it depending on your strength, not just the one that everybody moves to. So look at yourself. What do you think you are good at? How would you position yourself? And you can think about that, and then moving into those career roles. And all of them are very well paying. So this is more of a beginner's learning roadmap. I think I saw in the question, someone asked, how do I even start? So this is a roadmap that you could use. So one of the first things that you need to do is to learn those cloud basics. So you need to understand what is cloud. Why are people using cloud? Understand those very basic things within cloud, and you could pick up some certifications and start learning. And then the next one is pick one platform, because you cannot learn everything. So you have to pick one of those. There's a lot of cloud service providers. We have AWS, we have Azure, we have um, Google Cloud. These are just the three main ones that we know, but there are other ones. There's Alibaba, there's a Salesforce Cloud, there's a lot of other ones. So, but just pick one and then learn that one that you really want. I think a lot of people usually move to AWS because AWS has more than 30% of the market value, the deal of the market, and while the rest manage other 70%. And it's also more user friendly, the interface, and also have those free tier that you could learn hands on. So most people usually start with AWS. And then the next thing you should do is know the core services. And the core services in cloud is compute, is storage, networking, and security. Those are the major services in cloud. And so if you are moving into cloud, you need to understand those things, at least at the basic, understand what it means. And apart from even using it for your cloud, if you are moving into tech, it's always good for you to even know these things, because when you are solving problems in other areas, you'll always need this, maybe not in the cloud, but maybe at on-prem. So those are the things that you can start to understand how it works. And then the next step in this learning journey is do hands-on labs. I mentioned that AWS provides those free tier services that you can do those hands-on. So that's an opportunity for you. So start building those things and learn. That is a very good way for you to learn. And the next one is add essential tools. So once you start learning cloud, once you start maturing, and you start to learn things like Linux, Gates, those simple scripting, maybe Terraform, Cloud Formation, all of those things, because you will need them if you're moving into more a DevOps role or a solution architecture role. So you need all of those ones. But when you start maturing, so don't start at the beginning. It's at a certain level of maturity that you start that. And the last stage is document your progress. So once you are learning, it is good for you to document, because those are the things that you show to recruiters. Post it on LinkedIn, post it on, have your own GitHub account where you are showing what you are doing, and then show your demos and then your notes. Those are what will prove to recruiters that you are learning. So, and some people would say, I do not have the skills, but let me tell you that these are the skills that even matters most, more than having a technology degree. As long as you want to move into cloud, there are some very key skills that you need to know. And some of these skills are soft skills, one of which is problem solving. I was in a presentation last week where a solution architect was asked what is solution architecture, and one of the things he said that the very first word in solution architect is solution. And what is solution? Solution is solving problem. So you have to start from there. So you have to understand problem solving. How do you break down problems into decompose this problem into manageable chunks and then try solving them? So that is one of the very key skills you have to learn. So from if you have someone mentioned it has about I think 15 years in admin, I know you'll be solving a lot of problems. So those are transferable skills you can bring into cloud. Another very key skill is communication. Most people in cloud, you have to explain why you think that this service is better than the other. You have to think about those trade-offs and then articulate your point to the different people. So communication is really important because you're going to be working with a team. You're going to imagine a lot of stakeholders. So you have to learn how to communicate. And you have to be curious. I think everybody in IT, you cannot not be curious at this time. Technology is changing at a very fast pace. So you have to be asking questions. Ability, you have to be learning more. So curiosity is one of the very skills that you need to learn. And you have to also be consistent. Almost on a daily basis, platforms like AWS are bringing out new services. So you have to learn on a daily basis, and technology changes. You have to be consistent. And then you also have to know how to document things, because if you are building a solution, you have to all of those documentations, how this is applied, you have to know how to document. But these are things you can learn. And collaboration, I think this one also has to do overlaps with communication, ability to collaborate with other people within your team. So these are the very skills that's even more than any tech degree that you can have, which would open doors for you and keep you in the room. Okay, and so how do you build your experience when you have none? A lot of people on this call do not have cloud experience. So I think this is really going to help you. How are you going to build those experience when currently you do not have none? So first is you have to build. I mentioned that you have to, you can use AWS, you can create small cloud projects using their free tier or app. And the Cloud Booster also even has their training program where you could also join and then start to build things, start to create things. So that's a very good opportunity on how to start and get those experience that you want. And then so when you are doing that, you have to also ensure that things break and you try to fix them, because there's always problem. There's always a need for us to troubleshoot. Sometimes you might think that everything is going to work out fine. In 95% of the cases, it doesn't always happen like that. In production, things will always break. So you have to see how you could fix problems, troubleshoot when things goes wrong, and learn how from there. And how to also build your experience is by writing. So you have to post what you're learning. I mentioned LinkedIn before. So showcase what you're learning. You're doing a simple project, please be visible. And there's also a lot of volunteering roles that people are not aware of. You could even use Google, just type volunteering roles. You'll be so shocked that some doesn't even need your experience. Some just need your presence and your time. And so you could volunteer. Might not just be very techie roles, but it might be roles that would give you some of these experiences that you need. Some in different your workplaces, some in schools, and so you could also learn. And then join communities, join groups like Cloud Booster. You could join them, and then they could also have some mentors that could also mentor you. So those other things, these are the ways, simple ways with which you can build your experience if you do not have any experience. And then let's talk about these three things which are really important: certification, projects, and portfolio. It is good for you to have certification because it's it's a way of showing recruiters and the employers that you are committed. And also, apart from that, it also help you in terms of having that fundamental knowledge. Foundational knowledge. So you would get those knowledge from there, and then you would apply it. And then projects. This cannot even be overemphasized. If you don't have experience in cloud, you have to build projects. You have to show your recruiters that you have those projects, because it is where you are going to apply all of those skills you are learning, and then you are trying to apply them, what you learn, so that when you are going to workplace, you already have a starting point. And then portfolio, which is a collection of different projects, different things you've worked on. And this is the thing that you would show to recruiters. This is what I've built in your GitHub page, the different LinkedIn posts you have posted, and all of those your CV. So all of those work as your portfolio. So together, all of these can help you transition into this role. So how do you position yourself for your, after you have learned, after you've gotten your certifications, how do you position yourself for opportunities within cloud? One of which is reframe your past experiences. You don't need to say that your experiences as an administrator, as maybe in branch operations, doesn't really count. All of those count. So there's how you can reframe some of those your experiences, some of those your transferable skills into those skills that you need. I mentioned some core skills that you need as someone in cloud, including communication skills, problem solving skills. So those are the things you can show, and then you try to see how you can tailor it into those roles in cloud. Another step is to fix your LinkedIn and your CV. So if you have a target role that you want to apply to, begin tailoring your CV and your LinkedIn to show either your interest on that role or that you're currently doing things. Maybe you're learning, you're getting certifications, you're building projects on that role. And so those are the kind of things that you learned. And show proof that you've learned the different things you've done. People need to see that proof. And then you also need to network. How do you network? Learn from people, ask questions, and then ensure that you also stay visible within the different communities that we have. You could check LinkedIn. There's a lot of communities there, so you could meet people. Maybe look at their profile. We see that they move from a maybe their kind of roles they were doing outside of tech, and then they're moving into tech. You could ask them, how did you do it? What steps did you take? Yeah, are there openings within your organizations? And those are the people that can help you. So these are some of the mistakes that I've noticed that beginners make while they are trying to move into tech. And then one of which is doing, maybe you go to Udemy, Coursera, and then you pick lots of courses, and then you start working on them. You don't need to pick a lot of courses. You have to pick one, finish it, and then apply some of those your knowledge. Because some of those courses, while it's good, sometimes you might just want to finish course and then you post that you finish. Have you actually learned? So that is really important. And another mistake that people make is trying to learn everything. I was in one of these webinars one time where someone asked a particular tool that is currently trending. And what the person that was presenting told the person was that you don't need to learn everything that is trending. Some of these things are very, the skill set that you need is basic. Some of those skill sets do not change. The tools might change, but the basic scripting, understanding of scripting language, all of those Terraform, they do not really change, but the different tools that are being used to work on them might change. So learn the basics. You'd really have yourself the tech as long as you understand those basics. And then do not depend on certification alone. Those are the things that beginners make mistake. Depending on, if I have the certification, I would have this job. You would have, there are some people with even professional certification in AWS and they do not still gotten any job. How have you learned? Do you understand? When you go to interviews, are you able to articulate your point? Are you able to tell the recruiter that you are fit for the role? So that the things that matter. And how do you do this? By ensuring that you apply what you're learning. And another mistake is applying randomly without a target role. Please understand yourself. I've given you some of those roles depending on your temperament, depending on your personality that you can apply for. You cannot apply for everything. Have those target roles and then hit hard on those roles. And then you get something out of it. And another mistake is staying invisible online and offline. You can never be invisible in this age of visibility. That one is very, very important. So you cannot say that I want to stay invisible. You have to post. People have to know you so that when they're looking for a solution architect, when they're looking for a DevOps engineer, when they're looking for you are the one that will come to their mind. I've been seeing this person post. We are looking for a new person. They could always reach out to you. And the way social media works now, the more you interact on social media, the more the algorithm pushes you to the people that need to be seen. So you cannot stay invisible. And then this last one is, I know it might touch some people here, is quitting even before the story compounds. Sometimes we will take a particular course and then we start to learn. But at the point we now maybe get tired, or maybe we're not getting, we feel that we've not gotten the knowledge that we want, and then we quit. You cannot quit because there's always a learning curve. And if you look at that learning curve, there's a time at which you are learning and the things become very difficult. If you just become more persistent, you realize that at a certain point, it will be as if they've removed something in your eye, and then you are now seeing very clearly. The knowledge that you've just gotten compounds and you start understanding. It always happens like that. It might be at that point you want to quit, is where you just needed to just push a little bit. So you do not need to quit, even if you're feeling tired, you're feeling that you are not, maybe you feel that you're not the right person. You are the right person as long as you have the mindset and then you show consistency. And then, so I just did this simple 90-day action plan for you. For starters, what can you do within the next 3 months for you to position yourself and get a job within cloud? First month, just pick one cloud platform, learn the fundamental skills, and then for the second month, start doing some labs, and then write different posts, do a lot of some project, and then post some of those things. When you do that, maybe next month you start updating your CVs and posting on LinkedIn. If you're having feedback, if you need feedback, maybe if, for instance, if you join Cloud Booster, you could also, they always give feedback. So you could also ask them for feedback, or people that you within your network, this is what I've done, please can you give me feedback, or any kind of mentorship, and then start making applications. So those are the things that you can do within the next 90 days. So you learn, you practice, you build, and then you share, and then you apply within 90 days, and you will start seeing progress. But this might not be a match, because it depends on your skill set. There's some people that will need more time. Give yourself time. Do not be so hard on yourself. Learn, and then just be consistent, and then you get what you want. So my final piece for you is that that you don't need a perfect background. I've said that before. You don't need to come from a computer science background. You can come from anywhere. You can come from philosophy. You can come from linguistics. You can come from anywhere. So just what you need is just a clear next step, and then another step. So just need that first step, the way you're taking a staircase up. Once you take that first staircase, you always see the roadmap for you to take the next step. And those are the things that matters. Once you have that consistency, you start having confidence, and building your visibility will also create a lot of opportunities for you. Thank you very much. So you could ask any question, and then I should be able to answer. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Charles. Thank you. That was really, really amazing. If that was insightful enough for you, can we see your reaction in the chat box? Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much, everyone. That was really, really great. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to be moving into the Q&A part. And before we do that, you can also follow Charles on LinkedIn. Just scan the QR code. And also there's a link here for you. You can just click directly to that link and kindly connect with Charles on LinkedIn as well. Okay, so we're going to be getting into the Q&A part right now. So, of course, there are some questions here that you have already answered in your presentation. However, there are still some few more questions that I believe that you might need to touch on a bit. Yes, please.
I'm looking at.
So,
would you read the question for me? I might not be able to go through all of it if I missed anyone.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so this person is saying that, how is AI affecting getting job in the ecosystem? Is it still worth putting in the effort now that AI could do a lot? I don't know if you get that, but the person is saying, how is AI affecting? Okay, please go for it.
Yep,
Thank you.
I think in one of my slides I did mention that why cloud is still relevant, which is still going to be relevant even with the age of AI. If in my very first webinar I had is in this Cloud Booster program was that cloud itself runs on AI. Every application that is built on the cloud is run on AI. ChatGPT is built on Azure Cloud, and every other LLMs is building on that cloud. If there is any kind of jobs that AI would not take, is your knowledge of cloud. And we are even seeing more companies adopting cloud, and they need people to work on those applications. Do not be scared of AWS. Sorry, do not be scared of AI. Uh, from my experience so far, I could see AI is more of an enabler. It will make you more efficient. We've not gotten to that place where it's already taking jobs. There are still lots of jobs being opened. But what you also need to know is while you're also learning cloud, learn AI, double down on AI as well, see what is trending and see what you can apply, not just be a user, see how you can apply some of those AI skills. And with that, matching it with your cloud skills, you would be someone that is being sought after. I don't know
Awesome.
why I've
Thank you
answered
so
your
much for
question.
that. Yes, yes, absolutely. I believe that the question has been answered for the person who asked. All right. So the next question says, this person is probably trying to understand again. Says, can you please restate those minor roles and the expectations at work?
Okay. Maybe I could give out
Share the
this
slides.
presentation. Yes, I'll send it to you.
Okay,
If for
that's
anybody
great.
that needs it, you could download. I'll drop it on this chat. You could download it. But there are a lot of roles. One of which is a cloud support role where you'll be working with other people. So you be more of a service person. So if something breaks within cloud, you could be able to fix them. There's FinOp where you're also looking at cloud usage. Are they using the right services? Those are also a bit of a junior role. And there's a lot of other junior roles, and every senior role has a junior itself. So even if there is a solution architect, there's also a junior solution architect. Even if you're a DevOps engineer, there's a junior DevOps engineer, which is also be a starting point for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. We would appreciate that a lot. Okay, so I think you've also answered this, but it would be good to reassure the person if the person is still on the call. It says, I am 44 years with 16 years experience civil service in Nigeria. Considering my age, will transitioning to the cloud space and getting a job be possible?
Yes. I would say that there's nothing like ageism in technology. Because what they really need is your ability to learn. As long as you've not gotten to that age and feel that you cannot learn anymore, you could transition into tech. That what you just need is ability to learn. Are you curious? Are you willing to work with people? Those are the kind of skills that you would show to your recruiters, and then you'd get your foot on the door. Do not um worry about your age. There's always an opportunity for you.
All right, thank you so much, Charles, for that. So to whoever asked that question, there you have it. Okay, so this person, Owoy Cho, is saying, I think asked about three questions in one. Says, where from, okay, I'm going to skip that because you have already covered that. So the person is saying, can I use Windows OS to learn about cloud computing? I read that learning Linux is necessary to start a career in cloud. Also, the person is saying is an HP EliteBook, 16 gig RAM, 512 SSD refurbished laptop sufficient to begin learning about cloud computing.
Um, I- your technology spec shouldn't really be one holding you back. In fact, from the spec you've mentioned, you're holding a machine already that you could start working with cloud. Because for AWS, you just need more of a browser, and cloud itself is more of a browser. So you just need a browser. As long as you have access to Google Chrome, Edge, you should be able to learn. And Linux, depending on where you are in your learning journey, have you understood the basics yet of cloud, which is where you should start from? But you can learn anything. But I always say start from the basics and then you move towards because if you start learning scripting language, if you don't understand the basics, you could get overwhelmed at a particular time. So start from the basics, and then you now understand what you need to learn further.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. So this would be like the final question for tonight. So this person just dropped in their question to say, I've completed a course on Azure fundamentals. How can I build projects to show I can work in a cloud support?
Yep, congratulations to that person for completing that, because I know it takes consistency, and that's a good starting point for building projects. Maybe would have done some labs during that your skills, but if you've not, I know that Cloud Booster provides that learning opportunity, so you could register with Cloud Booster. They would help you with getting some of those projects. You could also even maybe, I know of AWS where they have different labs. You could start from there. You could even go to Google, type um, different project like Azure project, and then you learn from there. You could see somebody GitHub profile, and then you start building from there. Those are different ways you could start uh, having your own project. So you see some of the trendings projects, and then you see how you can apply that skills. So that's a good one.
All right. Thank you so much, Charles, for tonight's session. This is absolutely insightful and impactful as well. We do not take your time for granted. Thank you so much. So this will bring us to the end of this particular segment. Thank you once again, Charles. All right. So before we go, just a quick one. Before we go, we'd just like you to, if you have any further questions that you want to ask, maybe you have already decided that you're going to be transitioning, so you can reach out to our cloud program advisor, right? The link to reach out to them will be pasted in the chat box, so ensure that you reach out to them. If you have any question at all with regards to maybe transitioning and all of that, they'll be there to take all of your questions. So please ensure that you reach out to our cloud program advisors. The link will be in the chat box shortly. Yeah, Shadi is saying thank you for this session. Very insightful. Thank you, Shadi. Thank you for that. Okay, so that will be all for now. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Before we drop off, we'll just drop the link. We'll drop the link now. If you need to reach out to our program advisors. Please unblock. Okay, Chima, do you have a question? What are you trying to say? Your question is not clear, or whatever you're trying to say is not clear enough. All right, so that's the link in the chat box. Thank you. That's the link in the chat box. So you can just message our program advisor if you have any question about transitioning to tech, or if you still want to make further inquiries, basically just reach out to them via the link in the chat box. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Do have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you at the next one.
Thank you so much, Charles. Good night.